black people got into cars heavily armed and showed up at the courthouse. Then white people said, what the fuck are these people doing? Mobilizing a militia here. We should probably protect ourselves. So then some white people went and got their guns. Now, the order in which this happened, rather important. This guy conveniently just totally inverted reality and said a bunch of white guys were just heavily armed, and so black guys went out there. That's not what happened at all. Blacks, there's reports of the blacks in the meetings. Some of them said, no, this is a bad idea. Others were like, no, we're going down there with a show of force, and we're going to go and protect our guy. So that's what they did. And it was that show of force. We're talking about dozens of guys on cars. Like, they came out as a unit. And the whites were like, what the fuck is this? Soon, so here's their little sliver of truth, which is wrong. It's not in the proper timeline, because this happened first. Soon, armed black veterans of World War I arrived as well, seeking to prevent a lynching. So this is the justification for why they initiated violence. No one was lynched. Diamond Dick was never lynched. Okay, you saying he was gonna be lynched is a lie and a bullshit justification for why you started violence. And watch this. This is unbelievable from Traub, the Jewish guy writing this. A scuffle ensued. Okay, so if you have white men and black men both armed, yeah, they're there with an intention, and there's lethal force on display. So I can understand why tensions are getting high. A shot was fired. Okay, so now we've dehumanized it to the point of he's not going to say who shot anybody, as if that's not relevant. A shot was fired? The fuck? Do you realize how scandalously weak this is to describe it in this way? A black man shot and killed a white guy. There were 10 dead white bodies in the town square after the gunfight. So it was started by blacks, whites defended themselves, and then pursued the blacks as they scandalously and pathetically ran back to Little Africa to hide after what the shit they had just pulled. Oh. So they're like, you're not going to get away with that. You just killed Tom. You killed the fucking barber and the local guy who runs the AYSO league. I don't think they had AYSO back then. But you killed the butcher and you killed the baker, and like, what the fuck? We're not going to let you kill these. These are our friends. You just shot and killed 10 white people. Or as a Jewish man in 2025 says, a scuffle ensued and a shot was fired. Many shots were fired and multiple white people were killed in the town square outside the courthouse. Go look it up yourself. I dare you. You won't. You'll just accept this shit because you're not a history major from UCLA. You're just not. So, okay, whatever. Over 16 hours, nearly 3 dozen... Now, he just skirts over the fact that there were 10 dead bodies lying in the street. Okay. And more whites died. I think 12 died in totality. Over 16 hours, nearly 3 dozen blocks of Greenwood were looted, and set ablaze. No, they fucked your shit up because you killed multiple people from the community. More than 1,000 homes were destroyed, as were almost all the district's black-owned businesses. Yeah, fuck your theater and your restaurants. You were killing people. Uh-huh. And now they just want money for it. How insane is that? This is like a scuffle ensued and a shot was fired. Let me explain to you what happened in the O.J. Simpson case. Well, you have the death of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. And what happened was, it was late at night, not super late. It was like, 10 o'clock-ish. And we're talking about like sort of Brentwood, California. There was a dog. Somebody heard some barking. There were some screams. What ended up happening was that there were 2 dead bodies. But I think the interaction, there was a scuffle. Put it that way. There was a scuffle and a knife was thrust. Sweet. Who thrust the knife? Well, it's hard to say. It's the fog of history. It's sort of like a scuffle. I'm telling you, there was a scuffle. So there was a white woman there, and a white man, and a black man. There was a scuffle, and a knife was thrust. Okay, and that's your telling of the O.J. Simpson murder. Well, look, in the end, shit happens. Like, I don't know. Okay, well, at least tell me this. At least tell me, at the end, after there was a scuffle and a knife was thrust, whose body was on the ground? Oh, well, it was a white woman with her head almost cut off, and a white man, Jewish man, but, you know, white-ish, whatever. And so, okay, so there's 2 dead white people, and then there was, where did OJ go? Oh, well, he left. How do you know he left? Well, because there was drops of his blood leaving the crime scene. Oh, okay. Where were the drops of blood? Oh, they were on the left side of his body, so there were bloody footprints. Bruno Mali shoes, which is an expensive designer Italian shoe that OJ owned in his size. And there were drops of blood on the left side, so somebody was wounded on the left side of their body. Whoever had did this crime. What do you mean somebody? You told me that drops of blood were OJ's. The DNA proved it was OJ. Yeah, okay, fine. So OJ's blood was being dripped on the left side of his body. And did OJ have a cut on his body at all when they found him? Yes, he had a cut. Where? On his hand. Severely lacerated left hand. Left hand. So the left hand of O.J. Simpson was cut, and we found that in the hotel in Chicago. Okay, cool. So O.J. survived, but you didn't mention that there were 2 dead white bodies on the ground, just like this guy, this Jewish author, didn't mention that there were dead white bodies in the town square after the scuffle and after a shot was fired. Multiple shots were fired by black people killing white people, and then they got their shit pushed in by those whites. And they are bitching and whining about it, including the fucking ex-president of the United States, asking for money for having initiated a fucking brutal massacre in the streets. Now, if you want to compare the behavior, the patterns, the criminal nature of black people today, tomorrow, yesterday, I believe a black person set fire to a white lady on a train the other day. We're not talking about the Ukrainian woman that was stabbed in the neck for no fucking reason. This happens all the time. There's case after case after case after case after case after case after case of this. Compare that. Just put a pin in that. And now use your brain. Let's go back in time. Gotta get back in time. Let's go back in time. Imagine what those bleeps were doing back then. Imagine the fucking shenanigans that they were up to. Well, you don't have to imagine it. It was proven. This is a lie. You are being presented a lie. Get duped into believing a story that frames blacks as innocent victims and whites as monstrous evil racists. It's not true. I care about what's true. Okay, and so that's why I'm making this video, and I'm just, it's a message in a bottle, yeah. Throwing it out to the world, whoever wants to read it. By the way, I give you the Pepsi challenge. You go research this. Don't ask ChatGPT. That's a bitch. And it was coded by a bitch. Okay, you could pepper it all you want. Get multiple sources. Go back to the root. You will learn for yourself after 2 weeks of in-depth discovery where you will research it and find out, oh my God, Devon was right. Oh my God, these people have been lying. The people that made The Watchmen, who recreated this scene in a crazily bullshit fashion for entertainment's sake. All of the black people that are rallying around this cause because why? They want money. It's a fucking shakedown. You kidding me? There's nothing more to it. Unbelievable. Do it yourself. Just one time in your life. You challenge my authority. Say, I think Devon's wrong. I think Devon's bullshitting. Okay, go research it yourself. And put in the work, put in the time, you get back to me and tell me what you find. And you'll find that I was right. White people did nothing wrong in the, quote, Tulsa race massacre, and it's blacks to blame again. You're welcome.
And my challenge, by the ancient laws of combat, we met at this chosen ground to settle for good and all. Who holds sway over the 5 points? Us natives, born rightwise to this fine land, or the foreign hordes defiling it? The
ancient laws of combat, I accept the challenge of the so-called natives. You plague our people at every turn. But from this day out, you shall plague us no more. For let it be known that the hand that tries to strike us from this land shall be swiftly cut down.
Then may the Christian Lord guide my hand against your Roman popery.
Prepare to receive the true Lord.
This time, a white man approached a black man with a gun, and they began to struggle over the gun. And during the struggle, the gun goes off, and at that point, it's no longer about Dick Rowland or Sarah Page.
Yeah, it's about you killing people, over 10 whites, in the street, and then us coming to find justice. Because it shall not stand. You can't do this. And whether it's the cops that regulate, or the National Guard, or us, just us, whites, someone is eventually going to stand up to the bullshit. And as they currently, by the way, we're talking about 100 years ago, but we might as well be talking about yesterday or today or tomorrow, because the call for race riots and violence towards whites today is way bigger than it was back then. You have the same agitators, you have the same armed people in the same city even, but it's way bigger than that, because there's an end game to this psychological freakout that the bleeps have been going on since the cotton picking days. And it's they seek revenge. They want blood. And if and when it comes to that, I hope the authorities, the military, the cops, etc. will get the job done. I mean, they regulate, they crack down upon them, as they should, whenever they pop off. But when the numbers get big, things get sloppy, things get messy. And then, don't worry, the revisionists will swoop in and propagandize and lie. Just blatantly lie about all of it to make sure that the whites are the bad guys and the blacks did nothing. Have you heard that story over the past 5 years? If and when it does come down to this, just know that I own a hat like that, and I'm more than ready. I mean, I don't want to do this. I'd rather be a lover, not a fighter, but people will rise. And if that does come to pass, I'm showing up with a little crew, a little posse. Perhaps you might know of them. It's not a big group. I mean, feel free to join, but my crew, it's going to be me wearing that hat. To my right's going to be Phil Anselmo. Perhaps you've heard of him. His shoulder is repaired. His back is feeling fine. He's ready to roll. To my left is a fan of mine, friend of mine, Mantis Jurgudis, the Lithuanian MMA fighter / bouncer living in England. Yeah, he's on my team. And then over here is Mike Pierce, the welterweight UFC fighter who is willing and able to kick ass when the time calls for it. So that's my group. Now maybe G-Dog, Gavin, and the Proud Boys want to join up. Sure, we can sync up. That's fine. But when people need to march and when people need to step up to the occasion, we shall be coming. Fuck the new Black Panthers. It's time for the new Peaky Blinders to rise up and man up and stand for what's right. Because what happened in the Tulsa race bullshit was, surprise, surprise, started by the bleeps. Now you know. Do not be conned. Trust no one except for your Uncle Devon. Oh, but feel free to cross-check me. Not like in hockey. I'm talking about do your due diligence. Study the shit yourself. I stand on the side of reality and righteousness and karma and justice. So bleeps, if you don't want the rise of the Peaky Blinders 2.0, please refrain from fucking up the program and being violent, you dumb fucks, and go get a job.